Well, hello there, and good morning to you all. Uh, Finally, Bleach, the Bleach chapters returned, and now I will do some a video about my thoughts on the Bleach 593, a chapter entitled Marching Out the Zombies 4. So, basically, this chapter, its only focus is the battle between Mayuri and zombie Itsugaya. And it's interesting because um, Mayuri again show us his intelligence, and because in the beginning of the chapter he basically is able to provoke Itsugaya into attacking. And there is a moment when Itsugaya attacks him physically, not with the sword. And he kinda tries to give the knee to the side of Mayuri. So in that moment, the body of Itsugaya touched the body of Mayuri. So I think that it was on that moment that basically the drugs that Mayuri was talking about that he wanted to experiment on Itsugaya were injected in the body of zombie Itsugaya. And then we have Itsugaya several attacking Mayuri and basically kill him. But the situation is that after he does that, he returns to the beginning of the conversation and they fight again, and Itsugaya kills Mayuri again, and then he returns again in the past. So eventually, Mayuri explained that the drug that he administered to Itsugaya is a drug that basically forces the brain to have insight regarding the future, and if Itsugaya kills Mayuri, he will be trapped in a loop time hole that returns always to the beginning. And eventually, after he killed Mayuri several times, Itsugaya basically loses control over his body and falls on the ground. And at that time, Mayuri slashes him. And the chapter ends in that way. So, that's the chapter. Now, in terms of story, it's interesting because I remember two things after reading the chapter. First, initially, it was when Naklavar was in the barracks of the Squad 12, and basically Naklavar decided that he will not be fighting Mayuri because it will be a pain in the ass, and he withdraw. So could be could this be some kind of hint regarding the power of Naklavar and because the two powers were very similar. Naklavar basically saw that he will not have a chance to defeat Mayuri, and he decided to withdraw. That's possible, but after that, I remember another aspect, that was the battle of Unowana and Zaraki. And basically, in that battle, what happened is kinda the same that happened in this battle. If you remember, when Unowana and Zaraki were fighting, Unowana was basically killing Zaraki and then revive him, in a way kinda making go through a loophole in time until he releases his full power. In this case, we have the adaptation of the same idea, but in a different way. So the question that remains in my head at this point regarding these two situations is that, was Mayuri the one that created these and a la carte, uh, from his own ideas, or did he adapted some power, some strategy that belonged to Unowana? Because we know that Mayuri kinda keeps a recorder of all the moves and powers of the captains of the Serite in his database. So can he use and convert this kind of information to make his drugs, battle strategies? It's possible, because the guy is a genius, so it's quite possible that he can do that. So it was interesting to see how the battle did go on. Um, Also, another aspect that was interesting was that through the several fights and the loopholes, uh, gradually Itsugaya, either when the battle started he could not use his brain, or he was unable to do it, or he chooses to not talk. But eventually, through this battle, we see that Itsugaya began to regain conscience and his senses. So, could this mean that the drug that Mayuri applied to Itsugaya, besides the effect of throwing Itsugaya into a loop time hole, it kinda also allows Itsugaya to slowly regain his conscience and his senses? That could also be a question that could be put. So it was an interesting fight. So I'm curious to see on next chapter if the battle is over, if Itsugaya is free from the powers of Giselle, or if effectively, or if in the real in real time, Mayuri did finish off Itsugaya. And if Itsugaya was defeated, we could wonder what Giselle will do if Itsugaya is defeated. Will it bring other important Shinigamis as puppets or zombies? Or what will be the answer of Giselle to the loss of zombie Itsugaya? That will be interesting to see on next week chapter. So on the overall, it was a good chapter, interesting one. So that's it. So this is my review for Bleach 593. Hope you enjoy, stay well, peace, and see you soon.